what to do when our inherent inspiration does not give us a clear guidance. What to do if we are confused? What we should do? We have so much inspiration to do something. We have so much power and eagerness to build something amazing, but if we do not know what it is which we want to build, and there is confusion about this, how we can proceed successfully in life. So this is the questions that we are asking about today's chart. This is another sample chart we're doing today. Many thanks to our friend who has provided his birth details for this. And what, after studying this chart, what struck me is that the sun, the Atmakaraka, as well as the Lagna Lord, all three planets, they are to some extent have no direction, and to some extent are suffering. So the Lagna Lord is the Lord that rules the sign where the ascendant is placed. So when the person is born, the sign that is rising in the eastern horizon, that is the ascendant sign, and the planet that rules that zodiac sign, that is the Lagna Lord, the Lord of the ascendant. Lagna is the Sanskrit word for ascendant. So this ascendant Lord will give us information about the self, because the first house gives information about the self, and the planet that rules that house holds the signification of that. And then secondly, there is an Atmakaraka. Atmakaraka is the planet that holds the highest degrees. And that planet also gives us information about the self and what's the path to go, what is the duty of that self. Then we have the sun. The sun is also a signification of the self. It is the king, it is the Atma, it is the soul. It signifies the soul. And especially in the Rasi chart, in the D1, the sun rules that chart, and the sun shows what is our inspiration, our kingdom that we have to build in our life, or the life that we want to create is seen from the sun. So in the chart we are going to look at in a few instances, all these three planets, they have some misdirection or they are suffering to some extent. So in this person's chart, it will be very difficult to ascertain what is to be done, in which direction I should direct my energy, what is worth fighting for, and what is the life I want to achieve. So many thanks to our friend who has provided the birth details for this chart, and let's dive in. So let's have a look at the chart. Before I started to read the chart, I was casting a Prasna chart. At the time I received his birth details. This was on the 3rd February. And I did that to see what I have to look for in the chart, because it was an open reading. It's not specific one topic. I have to. The question was asked not about a specific topic. So to get some idea what the questioner might want to know, so I did this chart, and here you can see that it is Virgo ascendant. For those who do not know the South Indian style of chart reading, so you can see here this graphic. So from this point on, Aries starts, and then all the 12 zodiacs go around. So that is the South Indian chart reading. So here is Aries, then this will be Virgo. Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo here. So this is a Virgo ascendant, and the Lord of Virgo is Mercury. Mercury goes to the 6th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. 6th is Mercury. So since Virgo is the sixth sign of the zodiac, and then the Virgo Lord is in the sixth house from the ascendant, so this person definitely wants to know about his obstacles in life. What will be his obstacles? So in that in mind, I was starting reading the chart, and it's recording, yeah. And so I was asking myself, what this person will be the most difficult, or what will be the most obstacle on the path to fulfillment for this person. So if we talk about the path, or the purpose of life, or the way that the person what should the person pursue in life, we have to consider the Lagna Lord, and also Atmakaraka. Atmakaraka is the planet which holds the highest degrees, not regarding Rahu and Ketu. So in this case it's the moon is the Atmakaraka. Then Saturn is the Lagna Lord, because this is Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And then also the Sun is important, because the Sun is the significator of the self. The Sun is the king. So to see what is the life the person wants to create for himself, or the way person should create for himself, we can see from the Sun. So as in introduction I said that what to do when our inherent inspiration doesn't lead us on the right path, or we just do not know, we are confused about our purpose in life. So why I said that in the introduction, that is because in this chart this is going to happen, because the Lagna Lord and the Atmakaraka, they are both in a difficult conjunction. Saturn Moon is a very difficult conjunction, because Saturn starves all the planet he's conjunct with. So the Moon is getting starved by Saturn, and Saturn is starved by Moon because Saturn is considering the Moon an enemy. So what is Saturn? What is Moon? Saturn is the last planet. Sun is the first and Saturn is the last. So within this realm of between Sun and Saturn, our life happens. Our talents are there, our destiny is there, our fulfillment is there, our nourishment is there, everything between the Sun and Saturn. So Saturn is therefore Saturn is also giving the limitations. So until here and not further. And now the Moon, what is the Moon? So Saturn, we can see the key meanings of Saturn. This is can just look it up here. Graha key meanings. So therefore I said Saturn is limitation. Here is limitation. It's tests. It is slow because Saturn is the slowest moving planet. Saturn also signifies nature. Things should develop by its own accord. Naturally, it should develop at its own accord. We cannot force it. Saturn cannot be forced. It just goes at its pace, and things will come at its own pace. And it's also the things we should give up. It's austerity. It's not what belongs not to us. It's beyond our kshetra. It's beyond our field of action. So that is Saturn. And Moon, what is Moon? Moon is our mind, is our emotions. It's the nurturing thing. It's the female, it's the queen. It's the female part to the Sun. It's the nurturing, it's the romantic need we have. The Moon is always lovesick, always needs emotional nourishment and comfort. So now Saturn and Moon go not well together, because if the Moon looks for this nourishment and this fulfillment in the place which is not supposed to be part of our kingdom, Saturn, which is the outer limits we should not go beyond our limits. We should not pursue what we are not supposed to pursue. So if the moon looks for a fulfillment in that, there will be no fulfillment. If we are following, if we enjoy what we are supposed to enjoy, if we find fulfillment, look for happiness and joy in the things that give happiness and joy, then we will become happy and we will become fulfilled. But if we are looking for this in a place where it's not, then only result will be confusion and frustration. So this is happening in this conjunction. The moon will look for fulfillment in things that he's not supposed to fulfill. The things we are lacking. He will yearn or will be looking for the things that he's not supposed to give up, the things that he's supposed not to have. So therefore, since now moon is the Atma Karaka, moon is also the lord of the Karana, which holds the reason of birth, and is also the moon is also the Hora lord. So moon is a very important planet, and having this very important planet that is very giving direction to life, or it's supposed to give direction to life, looking for the direction in a place he's not supposed to look, in Saturn, then we have confusion, we have frustration, we have misdirection. And this same happens also to Saturn. Saturn is supposed to give to bring limits and to ascertain the things that we are not supposed to do. And now Saturn is looking for the moon. So we are looking for acknowledgement of the things we are not. We're looking, and since Saturn is also the self, the Lagna Lord, the Lord of the Ascendant. So we are looking. This person will be looking for validation in things that he is not. So therefore I said in the introduction that what to do if just from our own constitution, from our own inspiration, we do not know what to do. So that is seen here from Saturn and Mars conjunction. Now, but what about the Sun? Now the Sun is in Aries, it's exaltation, wonderful. He's very brilliant. The Sun is shining at its peak. It's at its peak performance. It's in exaltation. And the Sun is joined by the 9th Lord, Mercury, in the 4th house. That gives, the 4th house is a karma house. It's a house of action. The 9th Lord is the Dharma. It's about our inherent inspiration, our virtue. So this makes a very inspired person. And so the Sun gets a lot of inspiration from Mercury, from the 9th Lord, to do something great, to do something wonderful, to build a wonderful kingdom. And it also has power. It is an exaltation and very efficient. But what happens to the Sun? The Sun is in the 4th house. And as such, the Sun has no Dikbala. The Sun is directional strength is highest, is at 60 points on the 9th, in the 10th house. But it is completely on 0 in the 4th house. So therefore the Dikbala is very low. So what is Dikbala? Dikbala is direction. Exaltation shows that the planet is very efficient. It is very powerful. It is really works smoothly. It does great things. But it has potential to do great things. But Dikbala is direction. So if all this strength and all this inspiration is not directed in the right direction, then it will lead to confusion and frustration. So we have here a very inspired personality that is fired up to have a wonderful, to build his very wonderful life, build something great, and also has the ability to it, but is confused about where to invest all this enthusiasm and strength. So no, the Dikbala is low. now let's look at Jupiter. If we are talking about purpose in life, about seeing purpose, higher purpose behind what we are doing, Jupiter is the planet to do that. He's the planet that gives us purpose, that makes us drive, that makes us wake up in the morning this is a wonderful day, and let me do what I'm meant for, and feeling content and feeling a higher satisfaction from having a purpose. Venus is finding satisfaction in the exchange with the world, and Jupiter is finding satisfaction from a higher purpose. So Jupiter here, since we already see from these three planets, which are very crucial planets, the Sun, the Lagna Lord, the Atmakaraka, the Karana Lord, the Hora Lord, from these planets, that they are lacking of direction, they don't know where to find happiness. So what about Jupiter? Because we have to examine, it's a very important planet in this regard. But Jupiter also, we can see, is in a house of Venus. Venus is an enemy to Jupiter. Also, Jupiter is considering Venus an enemy, because Jupiter is about finding purpose in a higher realm beyond the sensual world. But Venus is about sensuality. So this passion of Venus, of having a wonderful life on Earth, doesn't go well together with the desire of Jupiter of finding purpose in the transcendence. So therefore Jupiter here is suffering under this Venusian influence. Also, if we go to the D7, which is the Varga that Jupiter rules, so the condition of Jupiter in this Varga says a lot about Jupiter. And here Jupiter is in debilitation. He has no power, is completely inefficient. So so the condition of Jupiter is not very good. Also in D60, this is a chart that we can see the final conclusion about the planet, about the dignity of the planet. Here also Jupiter is in a house of Mercury, which is also an enemy to Jupiter, and Venus conjunct with Venus. So we can see Jupiter will not help find purpose much. He will not be in the position to help much. So now, what to do? So this was the question in the intro. What to do if we do not know what is our purpose? And if also what to do when our inherent inspiration does not lead us to the right conclusion. So for that, I would like to or as an answer to that question, I would like to quote from the book that has the answer to all the questions, and that is the Bhagavad Gita. So what happens in the Bhagavad Gita? Let's see, I have a good picture. Kurukshetra, in the Bhagavad Gita, this happened in the advent of the Kurukshetra war. Let's have a beautiful picture somewhere. Oh, here, this one. So this was a war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So the Arjun, he is the one who listened the Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna was the one who spoke the Bhagavad Gita. And Arjun was the younger brother of Yudhishthir, who was the rightful king, and they were fighting against their cousin brothers, who offended them in many ways and who stole or cheated them of the kingdom. Duryodhan, the cousin of them who cheated them, he was a very wicked person, and under his rule the kingdom would have been led by adharma, by irreligious principles. So it was the duty of the righteous king Yudhisthira to oppose that evil Duryodhan. So this was a, so to say, a holy war. So in the first 2 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, the scenery was set between the 2 armies, and Arjuna was asking Krishna to go in between the 2 armies, and when he saw the opposite side, and he saw his cousin brothers and his uncles and his teachers and his grandfather standing there ready to fight, he became completely bewildered by the bodily conception of life, and he lost direction. He became confused of what he should do, and he brought forward different arguments. Better he would stop being a warrior and just live from begging instead of fighting for the kingdom. So finally he came to the conclusion. What we can say is that there's a parallel between what happened to Arjun here and what happens here in this chart. In this chart, the person will get wealth, will get luxuries, will be successful in material acquisitions, but will not feel any purpose in life and will feel empty. So Arjun, what he says in the second Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Okay, he says, "Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is the best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapanam." So he became confused. He said, I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like that of the demigods in heaven. So he said, I might win this war and enjoy the kingdom after that. Means in the context of this chart, his person might win, might get the significations of the 4th house because the sun is exalted. He might get luxuries, a good car, a good house, real estate. He will always have enough in the bank balance because Saturn is in own house. 2nd house things will be up. So he will struggle. He will excel in many things in his life and get all the luxuries and assets that somebody can wish for, but he will not see any purpose in it. He will see everything is dry, everything doesn't make sense, because the planets that give purpose to him, the sun, the Lagna Lord, the Atmakaraka, all they are having confusion and misdirection. And Jupiter coming in, who can give purpose, who can help, is also bewildered by materialism, by Venus. So this is the same situation. This person will go to the same feelings as Arjun is feeling. Here it is. I cannot find means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. Everything will feel dry. Everything, though he has a house that is enjoyable, he's not feeling like enjoying it because he doesn't feel a higher purpose in life. He will have a car, he will have a wife, he will have children, but will not feel satisfied from it. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like that of the demigods in heaven. So there is a parallel between the feeling that is of Arjuna as is described in the 1st and 2nd canto, first and second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and this chart. And what is the solution? The solution is that he approached the spiritual master, and the first solution is that now I am confused. He admits that he is confused, and he has lost his composure, and he has lost his direction, what to do, and what is good and what is wrong, what is he supposed to do, and he's approaching a spiritual master. So now, what is a spiritual master? A spiritual master is the manifestation of the super soul. So we have God is manifesting himself as the Paramatma in everyone's heart, in the heart of an ant, in the heart of a human being, even in any atom, everywhere. The Supreme Lord is present as the super soul, as Paramatma, as Vishnu, Kshirodakajai Vishnu, that is the Paramatma. And the Paramatma is always close to the soul and always knows the desire of the soul. It is described like two birds sitting in one tree. The tree is the body, and our mind is the physiological and psychological vehicle that we have, that is the tree. And sitting in it, that is the soul and the super soul. Two birds sitting in a tree. One soul is only observing, one bird is only observing, and the other soul is enjoying the fruits of the tree. And the one that is enjoying, that is the individual soul, that is bewildered and is in bodily consciousness and is only focused on enjoying the fruits of the tree, the pleasures and pains of the body. But the other soul is not, the other bird is not bewildered and is just witnessing what the other soul is doing. So it is also described in the Vedas that when the super soul always knows the desire of the soul, as somebody knows the smell of a flower, because if somebody is close to a flower, he can get the smell of the flower. So similarly, the super soul is always very close to the soul, therefore always knows the desires of the soul. So when now the soul is becoming serious about knowing the truth about it himself and life and what he's supposed to do, the super soul will know that and will make arrangements. And at that time, when the desire in the individual soul arises for knowing the truth, the super soul will manifest as a spiritual master. And a spiritual master is a soul that is a perfected soul, a Siddha Purusha, a soul that has achieved enlightenment and can be a complete transparent medium between God and you. So if you develop the desire for knowing the truth, or for knowing the path to happiness, or knowing the path out of the miseries of this world, then the super soul will manifest as a spiritual master, and through the spiritual master will instruct you how to proceed. So that is the Guru Tattva of the Vedas. The Vedas, they teach in this way, and in that way, through that spiritual master, the Vedic revelation can be transferred to your heart through the listening process. So, all right. So I didn't prepare all the shlokas. There are many verses that describe this. I didn't prepare. I can do this in another video if desired. We can talk about Guru Tattva. But long story short, so what is now the solution to this dilemma here? So we have a person that is very inspired, because Mercury giving a lot of inspiration to the sun. The sun is very capable and powerful, but has no direction. And also from the other point of view, from the Lagna Lord and Atmakaraka side, we can see that there is misdirection and confusion. And Jupiter is not there to give a higher purpose. He is blinded by Venusian materialism. So So this person will get wealth, will get material assets in a reasonable amount, but will always feel misplaced, misguided, or will feel not living his real purpose. That is the thing. So the solution for that doesn't lie in himself. He cannot find a solution in himself, because the inherent inspiration will not lead him in the right direction. So he should seek for a spiritual master. And the spiritual master can be sought out by prayer. So we have to pray that, please God, please help me, please show me the way. And if the prayer is sincere and deep and strong enough, then God, the super soul, will manifest in the form of a pure guru, pure guide, who can enlighten the person. Yeah. All right, so this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for your attention, for listening. That is very much appreciated. I hope it made sense. When it didn't make sense and you would like to know, would like to have further explanations about this topic, please leave comments in the below. I can make a follow-up videos later on. And please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That always helps to grow the channel. This is YouTube algorithm things. And yeah, check out my other videos on the channel about Vedic spirituality and philosophy. And thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful day.